What's up, guys? Keep an eye on my truck. Yes, that's a 1971 C30 work dump truck that you physically cannot lock. But here's the beauty. Anti-theft prevented via it's a stick shift. Logan, go away, you fucking fag. What the fuck says whatevs? Only faggots say that shit. Get the hell out my stream. Hey, sorry. You guys could report me or whatever, but if you're gay, transgender, keep on swiping, go away. I don't like lunatics or mentally unstable human beings. But you may look at my old dump truck. You can do that. Why do you feel targeted? Oh my God, are you triggered? Oh my God, is he triggered? Hey, Blaze, this fucking weirdo on the internet is triggered. Oh no. Oh no, I'm targeting you. I really don't care, Logan. I really don't care. You get triggered and keep telling me how triggered you are, and I will tell you how much I fucking give a shit. Just so you know, still not giving a shit. Gotta go. My dinner just pulled up. Retarded! Don't be snooping. That was actually kind of weird. Some dude in a blue hoodie, guys. Dude in a blue hoodie. Not this guy currently walking across the street. Actually, I don't know. Why is he stopping? What are you looking at? Yeah, see, guys, this is why you stay out of shitty neighborhoods. But I'm restoring my house. So I gotta have my dump truck here. So if any of you guys see some weirdo go near this truck, say something. Oh man, you keep your eye on everything you want, you fucking weirdo. As long as your fucking weirdo-ness protects my truck, you go ahead and fucking watch that bad girl. But yeah, the guy who walked past my truck with the blue hoodie in front of it, watch that motherfucker. I even opened up the window and said, don't be stupid. No. I'm not. I'm engaged to my dog and the 7 other women that I don't think they know about each other, but we're not going to talk about that. Hey, how funny would it be if we catch a son of a gun snooping in my truck on live camera? That'd be so fucking funny. Touch that damn truck, people. You're on the interwebs. The whole world gotta know you be a snooper. Ain't shit you're gonna steal but fucking old ass satellite dishes I took off another job today. Hey, by the way, anybody want the scrap metal inside the back of this dump truck? There's probably about 900 pounds of fucking satellite dishes up there from a Giant Eagle, aka a Walmart. Well, Logan, you're too gay. You can't have it. As I shout at you across the room. Because I'm going to play some Battlefield 6. Fuck you. I can see my truck on my fucking third TV screen. But thank you for chatting it up with me, Logan. No offense to your sexuality. I'm not interested. I don't mean for you to hurt yourself or harm yourself. This is all good fun and comedy. Well, go fuck yourself a 6 at a time. Maybe 13 times. I don't know. How many ever times you gotta fondle your butthole to get your thing hard? I don't know, man. You do you. You do you. I'm gonna do me. Appreciate what? I mean, I really appreciate you commenting. That's weird. I accidentally said that this live stream public. It was supposed to be private. But hey, welcome. Spy on my dump truck with me. Anybody goes near it? Wait a minute. Man, the worst place ever is that shadow on my truck right now. I'm gonna go get a spotlight, point it right on that truck.
This man is the greatest gunslinger of all time, and you've probably never even heard of him. Willis Augustus Lee, aka Ching Lee. This man won 5 Olympic gold medals in a single year for shooting, then went on to become a battleship commander and used the same principles that he learned in long-range precision shooting and applied them to the massive 16-inch guns on the USS Washington to become the most successful battleship commander ever, and he did all of it with myopia. But first, a word from our sponsor. This video is brought to you by Delete Me.
Oh, Nicholas, I thought you would never ask.
Is that a real MP5? Fight with his 22. Because of that, he became his small local town's pest exterminator. Anytime anybody had any rodent or any type of pest that they wanted gotten rid of, they would call the young Ching Lee and he would take care of it for them. In addition to his passion for shooting, he also thoroughly enjoyed blowing shit up for fun because, well, there's not a whole lot to do in Kentucky in the early 1900s and America.
Oh, there is poop on everything.
Unfortunately for Lee, this would bring about a lifetime full of problems because one day him and his brother decided to fill a coffee can full of black powder, have a line of black powder leading away from the can so that they could light it safely. They lit it, the fire went all the way down the line of black powder into the can, and nothing happened. So they waited. Line of black powder into the can, and nothing happened. So they waited. And nothing continued to happen. So finally, Willis Lee approached the can, looked at it, got close, opened it up, and then it blew up in his face, giving him severe burns all over his face and eyes. Due to the severity of the burns, it was believed in the days immediately following the accident that Lee would be blind for the rest of his life. Fortunately, he would regain a significant amount of his eyesight. However, his eyes were permanently damaged, and he would have to wear thick glasses for the rest of his life. So obviously, the young Ching Lee was a pretty rambunctious kid, and that translated over into the classroom as well, because he is the classic case of the kid that's so smart that school doesn't interest him or keep him stimulated, so he has a bad habit of getting off task and doing things he shouldn't be doing. Mainly, he was a prankster and a humongous smartass. For example, when he was 12 years old, he was already chewing tobacco, and the teacher would always confiscate his pouch of tobacco, walk it across the schoolhouse, and throw it into the wood-burning furnace in the corner. Finally, Lee got sick of the teacher burning up all his tobacco, so he went home, emptied tobacco out of the tobacco pouch, filled it full of black powder, and stuck that in his pocket and waited to go to school the next day. Sure enough, teacher confiscates the pouch of black powder, walks it over to the furnace, throws it in, blows up the entire wood furnace. And then, in true smartass fashion, when Lee got in trouble for it, he said, look, this isn't my fault. You took my shit, didn't ask me what it was, and then threw it into fire. That's 100% on you. On another occasion, the teacher had the audacity to send Lee home because his shoes weren't shined enough. So he went home, shined his shoes, stuck paper sacks over his shoes, and tied them up top with a rope. He then walked to school and refused to take the paper bags off because he didn't want his shoes to become unshined and not be within the school's dress code. With the culmination of all these things, Lee's father realizes that he needs to get his son into the military as soon as possible so he has some way to positively channel all of this energy, otherwise he's going to end up in jail or worse. So being that he was already a judge, he pulled some strings, gets his kid into Annapolis at the age of 16. Annapolis is where he would get his lifelong nickname of Ching. Originally it was a different C word that's actually a racial slur. Apparently it changed to Ching over time just because it was easier to say. Now they didn't give him that name because he is Asian. He's a white dude from Kentucky. However, he does kind of look like he could be Asian. He wears round, thick glasses. His last name is Lee, and he is a huge Asian history nerd. Sometimes even going as far as signing his signature in Chinese symbols. What I'm trying to tell you is if this were modern times, this dude would definitely be watching anime.
Kakarot, you've never kissed someone?
No, of course not. Why?
You're married and have children.
Yeah, duh, but what's that have to do with kissing?
Now, for his entire 4 years at Annapolis, he is thoroughly unamused with coursework. He pretty much speeds through it as fast as humanly possible so he can get back to studying things that he likes and going out and shooting guns. Now, because of this, he does join the Navy shooting team, and his senior year, he gets an opportunity to go represent the Navy in a huge national competition put on by the National Rifle Association. At this competition, there is a rifle competition and a pistol competition. Lee has been selected to participate in the rifle competition. Now, this rifle competition is a huge deal. There are 684 people there competing, and they are all qualified to be there. Regardless, Ching Lee ends up winning first place, earned the gold medal by getting a bullseye at a 1,000-yard target, and he wins the entire thing before lunch. Not really having anything else to do for the rest of the day, he's like, fuck it, I guess I'll go do the pistol competition now too, just for funsies. Fast forward about 80% of the way through this pistol competition, and Ching Lee is winning, and he wasn't even there to compete in the pistol competition. And as he's shooting different targets, his pistol blows up in his hand because one of the rounds that he had too much black powder in it from the factory. It blew up his gun, and messed up his hand. Not giving a shit, turns around to his buddies watching. Somebody throw me a pistol. He grabs it, catches it with his left hand, finishes the round with his non-dominant hand, and goes on to win the pistol competition as well, earning 2 gold medals, being the only American to do it. So after that, he goes back to Annapolis. He's got both of his gold medals. He's basically the Kevin Gates of gold medals, if you will, and it's time to graduate. Now, bad news, he has to take a physical first, and after going all the way through Annapolis schooling, finishing the program, and just winning 2 gold medals in a national shooting competition, they decide you're not qualified to actually join the Navy because, well, your vision's not good enough, despite the fact that you just scored a bullseye at 1,000 yards last week. So at this point, Ching Lee does exactly what every other badass with bad eyesight would do, and he cheats on that fucking eye exam and makes his way into the Navy.
Yes!
Now, as an officer in training, he gets shuffled around to a bunch of different ships to get a bunch of different experiences, figure out what he likes doing, figure out what he's good at, get him exposed to everything. That's how this is supposed to go. During that time, he actually publishes his first ever article, and it's about the proper way of shooting a pistol. It gets published in the Naval magazine, and he actually signs his signature at the bottom with the Chinese symbol again. Now, the reason I bring this up is because I like the quote that he actually put in this magazine. And that was, focus on acquiring accuracy before you try to acquire speed, which is eerily similar to the famous quote from also famous gunslinger Wyatt Earp, fast is fine, but accuracy is final. You gotta learn how to be slow in a hurry. My point being, game recognized game, they're both onto something, and you should probably write that shit down. Now, the young Lee finally makes his way onto the USS New Hampshire, and that is when the occupation of Veracruz happens. Alright, super brief, oversimplified version of what's happening right now. It is 1914, and Mexico is having a revolution, and the new Mexican government is not a huge fan of the United States of America. Because of that, the Tampico affair ends up happening, which is the Mexican government basically captures and detains a bunch of American sailors for a little while. It's a big diplomatic nightmare between Mexico and the United States. Because of that, the president at the time, Woodrow Wilson, decided that he's going to put an embargo on Mexico, and he's not going to let any guns into the country because he's scared that they're going to use them against America. And in April of 1914, Mexico gets a huge shipment of firearms despite the embargo. Ipso facto, Woodrow Wilson sends in the Navy and the Marines to go get those weapons back. Now bear in mind, this is 1914. There's no Higgins boats, there's no amphibious landing vehicles, nobody's doing D-Day type shit, so it's literally just a bunch of Navy and Marine dudes getting driven ashore in whaling boats, hopping out and going to find these guns, I guess, because the president said so. So, since, America's basically invading Mexico, some of the Mexicans get pretty pissed off, obviously, so they start shooting at the Americans, which, not super happy about it, but I understand the sentiment. I would do the same thing if I were in their shoes. Now, unfortunately for them, the downside of shooting at people is they're probably going to shoot back, assuming they have guns, which America always does. Now, somewhere along the line, Lee's entire unit gets pinned down by these enemy snipers that are up on top of roofs and inside of windows and high buildings, basically shooting at guys lower on the ground, and nobody's able to shoot these guys back, and everybody's just pinned down where they're at. So, Lee, remembering, oh, shit, I'm the main character with bad eyesight, I got this, grabs his gun, and just walks out in the middle of the street corner in broad fucking daylight with no cover whatsoever, and he just sits there with his gun. Sure enough, after a couple of seconds, somebody finally shoots at him, but they miss. And now Lee saw where they're at, and Lee shoots back. And remember, Ching Lee doesn't miss. And then he continues to sit there, and somebody shoots at him, and they miss. And Lee shoots back, and Lee don't miss. And this goes on for a while, pretty much until they quit shooting at Lee, presumably because there was none of them left. When asked about this later in life, the only thing Lee would say was, quote, yeah, I think I got a couple of them. Of all the men that were there and actually saw it, many of them a modest version of this story to tell, with some of them claiming as many as 12 men were dispatched by Lee, all the while he was giving them the first chance to shoot at him. Then later, during this Veracruz side quest, Lee is also credited again with saving a man's life by running through gunfire to get him and provide medical attention. The man is literally Clint Eastwood, except it's 1914 and he's real.
You're gonna look awfully silly with that knife sticking up your ass. You still do? No.
Now, because of the bravery he displayed flight at Veracruz, he's put up for promotion by his leadership, and he gets denied because his vision is too bad. And at this point, his entire chain of command is basically writing letters of recommendation, essentially yelling at the entire medical bureaucratic side of the Navy that's denying him that they're insane because this guy's awesome. Seriously, he gets like 20 letters of recommendation from high-ranking officers, including the skipper of his current vessel, the USS New Hampshire. And in that letter, he says something along the lines of, "I saw Lee crumple a man from 800 yards with iron sights at Veracruz. He can see just fine." So his promotion gets taken into consideration for an extended period of time, and because of that, he gets taken off sea duty and gets sent basically to the middle of the country, and he is working for the U.S. Navy, going to different factories and figuring out what these factories need to do to be able to better manufacture stuff for the U.S. Navy. During this time, he meets his wife in Oskaloosa, Iowa. Then America enters World War I, and he gets sent over to Europe, although he does not get attached to a combat vessel, so he never actually sees combat. After World War I, Lee would go on to compete in the 1920 Olympics, where he would actually win 7 medals, 5 gold, 1 silver, 1 bronze, which would turn out to be the record for the most medals won by any one person at any one Olympic Games, and that record would stand until 1980. Okay, just so we're on the same page, dude just won 5 gold Olympic medals for sharpshooting, and he's having trouble getting promoted because he has bad eyesight. Anyways, for the rest of the 1920s, Lee spends pretty much the entire time working on different destroyers, just working his way up the ranks, becoming a bigger and better leader. Now, about his style of leadership, everybody absolutely loves this guy that works with him because he has this way where he just teaches people what they need to do, and if they're not good at it, he gets them good at it, and then he just lets them do their job. He doesn't try to micromanage them. He's not up everybody's ass. He just wants to get people where they need to be so they have the skills they need so that they can do their job, and then he goes and dicks off so he can go do target practice and build traps to kill rats because that was like his new hobby. That was seriously what he was known for, building elaborate mouse traps on destroyers. He had ones that were like air guns rigged up to trip wires that would shoot rats, which is the most American shit I've ever heard of in my entire life. There was another one that was really popular where he had a little miniature guillotine that he had electrically rigged up to a push button on his desk, and all the boys would sit there and play a game. When the rat would run across it, they would try to hit the button just in time to cut the rat in half. And then, like, whenever there was anything to shoot at from the ship, he had his own private stash of guns in his quarters, and he would run out, and there'd be these, like, glass balls from abandoned fishing nets that would be floating in the ocean, and he'd run out and shoot at them from the deck, and he'd invite the Marines to come out and shoot with him over the PA system. He was actually out there teaching the Marines how to become better shots. Everybody absolutely loved this guy. So that goes on until about 1930, and then he finally makes his way back onto battleships and heavy cruisers, at which point he gets absolutely obsessed with gunnery. He wants to shoot the big guns better than anybody ever has. He actually ends up writing a paper that later on got published talking about how battleships need to take into consideration the curvature of the Earth when they're gathering targeting data, and he develops the calculations for battleships to do that. He's literally teaching people how to treat a battleship the way a sniper treats a gun, and it's highly effective. Because after publishing that paper, another battleship commander actually took that data and started implementing it, and his battleship won most accurate ship for the next 3 years in a row, and he said it was all due to Lee's calculations. Okay, if you're not catching on, Lee is actually treating his naval career the same way he treated his academic career. He's not interested in the normal coursework of like leading and micromanaging a bunch of sailors. He wants to get everybody where they need to be. He wants to get through his work as fast as he can so that he can go do stuff that interests him, like pioneering new ways to be accurate with gunnery. Because of this, he develops a reputation as a problem solver. So, late 1930s, they send him over to Washington, D.C., and his orders are basically, get everybody ready for war because we know it's coming. Okay, now this is probably the least coolest but most important part of the entire story. This man essentially got sent to Washington, D.C. to go toe-to-toe against the United States Navy's biggest nemesis, the Bureau of Ordnance.
You bitch, God! You're very helpful, aren't you? You try to help everybody. Do you want to play another game?
Okay, if you don't know, the Bureau of Ordnance is a bureaucratic nightmare that does nothing but slow down and halt any progress the U.S. Navy tries to make at literally anything ever. For example, if you remember like a month ago when I made the USS Parchi video with Lawson Red Ramage, and he was shooting torpedoes at all these Japanese ships, but the torpedoes would hit and then not blow up because they were duds, because it's a known fact that the Mark 14 torpedo fucking sucked, and he complained to the chain of command, and the chain of command told him, too bad, you just suck with torpedoes, and torpedoes are fine. That was the Bureau of Ordnance. So basically, the chain of command has sent Lee to Washington, D.C. to go toe-to-toe with these guys because they know that Lee doesn't have the time or the temperament to put up with their bureaucratic bullshit, and they're absolutely correct because Willis Lee is about to turn into a wood chipper for red tape. So Lee shows up, and he starts learning and finding out about all these fancy new toys the Navy has that are just being held up by bureaucratic nonsense. For example, I don't know, fucking radars. Lee, being the forward thinker that he is, he's like, you can put a screen in my office that tells me where the enemy is so that I can shoot them with my big ass guns without even having to see them. Yeah, put that on every fucking ship in the Navy. What's wrong with you? But don't worry, because the Bureau of Ordnance and their infinite fucking wisdom doesn't seem to agree with Lee, and they don't think they're going to be that big of a deal, and they just want to put them on some ships, and they don't want to waste all their money on radars because they're dumb, apparently. But they know Lee's not going to take no for an answer, so they tell Lee that they can't get any more radars due to manufacturing shortages, to which Lee immediately goes, fine, then I'll buy them from Britain. Magically, the Bureau of Ordnance found all the radars he could possibly need. Imagine that. Okay, next order of business, American submarines. Their biggest weakness is having purified water because they can't purify water fast enough for how quickly they consume it because the crew needs water and the batteries in the submarines at this point in time also eat a ton of water. Luckily, there's a new EVAP system that's going to allow them to have way more purified water, and it's going to be great. Unfortunately, it's held up in bureaucratic red tape. Okay, like they're there. They're done. They've been manufactured. They're ready. But the government wants to run more tests on them, even though everybody in the Navy is like, no, they fucking work. They're just not letting us use them. So Lee just walks in, issues the order to install them, and if anybody has a problem, they can blame him. So this man is the greatest gunslinger of all time, and you've probably never even heard of him.
In the back. Why did you and her father break up? Oh, he was cheating? It happens. Doesn't make you a bad guy. Doesn't make you a bad guy. Was he a good provider? He didn't abuse you? That's not a big deal, you know? It had nothing to do with you. I hope you know that. That was something within him that he had to release. It was not an indictment of you at all, so don't take that personal. And I love how you're handling it, because I wish my ex was doing what you're doing, just hanging out laughing. My ex still be at the show. Fuck you, bitch. That's why your ass didn't sell out 13 shows, motherfucker. Come here for so many years. This mural has been the same for over 20 years. There's fucking holes in it now. The lights don't work. These stars have shot themselves. Same moon, same tree. They are missing all the homeless people at the bottom. There's a little couple tents underneath the bridge, the fishing poles. town Sacramento is calling your name. They are thieves. Homeless motherfuckers don't give a fuck. They're in the middle of the sidewalk. They don't lay this way, they lay sideways. You walk over this mother. Hey, got a knock for you coming to my house. They're so active too, man. It's a good place to be homeless, I ain't gonna lie. Got a park, the weather's good. If I was gonna be homeless, I'd take Sacramento or Milwaukee any day, you know? It's funny, man, because like, people going and they motherfuckers just stop. It's crazy, like they were bringing out the mannequin challenge. Sacramento homeless will dominate that shit. And so one day he was going out. Are you related to her? Oh, okay. Thanks for coming, Mom. Sorry I was...
Daddy, sister.
Okay.
Oh.
That's where Max White's from, so you lost me right there. Have a safe ride back. Oh my God! They keep dragging me back in. Fucking Oakland, that's a hell of a long drive. Oh, you live in Sac now? Okay, good. You went to school, Max White? At Skyline? In Oakland? She went to Skyline. Yeah. Did you really go to school with her? Because you got me worried. I want that motherfucker texting her right now. Nah, he ain't say nothing. How'd you feel when you heard the shit hit the fan? Yeah, please. This is about to be good. Reality show? Yeah. Yeah, I know. Keep talking, mama. Keep talking. You got it good, mama. Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. My son's here now. He's in the back. He's in the back. He's on Bumble. He's trying to swipe. You want to hear the funniest shit? I'm sorry I put everybody's business out there tonight. My son's on Bumble. He knows the sack. He's swiping on his phone. He fucking messed up with the opener. He walked in the green room and he goes, what the fuck? I swear to God, I'm God! We'll see what happens. She might be on the road with me. That was the funniest shit. You don't drink? Oh, you drink. Okay, sorry about that. But did you get pregnant because you were drinking? First child? Oh, fourth. Oh, you're a vet. Yeah, it's gonna fly right out. That fourth baby just comes flowing out of that motherfucker. Push! I don't have to, Doc. You tell me when. That first one, that one be pushing. That fourth one, what time you want the baby to be born? We want like 12:56. Got it. 12:55. You just. Boy, you good. All of them playing? There was a pause. The first one was or wasn't. The first one's never playing. Yeah, my first one wasn't playing. I got two now. I got two 2-year-old twins. That shit wasn't playing at all. At my age, Shit happens, man. Pussy good. That's people always try to make it up. Yeah, I was irresponsible. I said, that pussy was fire. Women don't know. Men know. Men don't ever look at other men like, oh, you're responsible. How can you do that? No, other kids are grown. You're just going to have new kids? I go, no. That pussy. Oh, I didn't know it was like that. Because, you know, at my age, when you get a girl pregnant, that shit, yeah, I ain't a teenager. Teenagers just, they have no control. At my age, you know when that shit's coming. That's just tortoise in the hair, and I'm the tortoise. Slow and steady. I could have felt it. Like, oh shit. Oh shit. Whoa! I'm looking like honey. That's not a rush nut. I'll tell you that at my age. Sorry I'm cussing so much in front of your baby. I apologize. How many months? Oh, for the years. Are they in at 6? The years? You ever get sonograms? They're all weird looking. That's my child. I ain't got no eyebrows yet. Ears, no nose. You ever get them sonograms, the baby's looking dead at the camera? Don't post this shit on the internet, all right? Please. Sonograms are weird looking. Mom told you doing that.